Buenos días y bienvenidos a todos. Good morning and welcome, everyone. Welcome to a community dedicated to providing spiritual tools for living a happy and full life. My name is Karina Scheer, and I am the spiritual director and founding minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta. If you would like to join us for the live Zoom meeting, please contact me for the link and the password, or check our website, www.cslpv.org, on the weekly talk section, as well as the landing page. Today is Sunday, April 14, 2024, and we are continuing with our annual theme, A Grand Rising. Our topic for the month, which for April is gentle giantness, and this week's topic is the other in love. The suggested reading book for this month is A Psalm of the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. So once again, I'd like to truly welcome everyone, including those that are new to our teaching and to our center here in Puerto Vallarta, whether you're here on the live Zoom call or watching the replay at a later time. Here we teach a philosophy that honors all faiths, all paths, all traditions. So whichever path you are on, know that it is the right one for you. And in this philosophy of our teaching, it's called the Science of Mind, and it's a teaching based on new thought and ancient wisdom. We offer spiritual tools and principles to promote personal growth, and we honor diversity in all aspects so that we can appreciate the great oneness that is already there within each and every one of us. So welcome again. When Dr. Ernest Holmes first founded this teaching in the 1920s, he had studied both Eastern and Western philosophy texts, as well as spiritual texts, to create the science of mind. And when he was asked to provide a concise definition of the teaching, he had replied that it is a correlation of laws of science, opinions of philosophy, and revelations of religion applied to human needs and aspirations. Each week, we offer an inspirational message, and we are now meeting in person at noon on Calle Venezuela at the Café La Ventana. So look for more information on that as well on the website. And stay afterwards for some great conversations with like-minded people. So now, as we do each week, let's review our purpose, vision, and mission statements. We have a grand purpose here each week. And that is to awaken and celebrate diversity and to love and serve our community. We do this by means of our vision, creating the life you desire. And this is supported by our mission to provide spiritual tools for personal growth and transformation. And more on all of these can be found on our website. So people are lovely when they are kind and loving and just how you want them to be, how you expect them to show up. But people are also fickle, opinionated, and judgmental. And we just can't help ourselves. That's when everything gets messed up, right? We want to blame others for what's going on in our lives and what goes wrong. But in fact, it's our judgments of others that gets in the way. As you apply gentleness to your interactions with others, you can truly allow them to be their gentle selves. And from that place, you can both make clearer decisions for your own lives. Ernest Holmes said this: Compassion and caring are the ties that bind us together in mutual understanding and in the unified attempt to uncover the divinity in each other. Compassion is the most gentle of all human virtues, for it is the outpouring of the divine givingness through all. So yes, we are one energy, showing up in a myriad of forms, individualized expressions of the one divine. And each one of us is sacred and holy. The other person, place, or thing is none other than the expression of love itself. For no one and no thing is for us or against us. It all simply just is. Here's another quote from Ernest Holmes. He says, "Love is kind, gentle, and understanding. It is tolerant of others and reaches back through indifference and coldness to life, to something warm and pulsating that is at the very center of everything." So we are a mirror to each other. Our relationships with others can challenge the very foundation of our principles. And people can be so erratic and unpredictable. So this teaching, the science of mind, says that our relationships are a mirror of our own ideas, beliefs, and judgments. That it's the only place from which you can interact with others just like you. Being angry or hurt based on the actions or words of another person is part of the human experience. But what if it's not so much about what they did or what they said, but rather how you feel about it? So let's be clear. What happened to you is not your fault, but what you do with it, that is your responsibility. You are the creative genius of your life. And with this awareness and gentleness that we're cultivating, we get to redefine any aspect of our life at any time. So don't bother beating yourself up for some previous bad relationship or experience. Just start fresh now and claim them as useful information for recognizing the awareness and the awesomeness that you are. The more we love ourselves and who we are, the more that that love shows up in our relationship with others. So now we have the proof that love exists, and our relationships are proof that we love us. In the Science of Mind 365, Ernest Holmes wrote this: "None of us is as perfect in expression as we ought to be. So the challenge to each of us is to be great enough to rise in love, in charity, through understanding and compassion." So we must show up with compassion. And I know people are always trying to do their best, and they're always sacred and holy. But sometimes there are hard lessons and they're difficult to disagree with, or pardon me, they're difficult to agree with. When we apply compassion to ourselves, well, we may not like what we did or what we said. We comprehend that part of being human as a mistake. We comprehend that part of being human is to make mistakes. active compassion for others leads us to deeper understanding of this truth. Compassion doesn't mean that people get to uh, free reign to treat you however they want to treat you. And it also doesn't mean that you always have to fully understand why they did something or why they said something. Every person, everywhere, has an unknown story. They have lived through traumas and they've had their tragedies. We don't know the backstory. They have created ways to live and to function based on that history, just like each one of us. The Dalai Lama said, the moment you develop a sense of concern for others, you realize that, just like ourselves, they also want happiness. They also want satisfaction. So active compassion requires focus and attention. When your intention is to let people in your life to be themselves and to love them for who they are, then you are gentle with the reminders to yourself. So here's a little story. There's two families that lived nearby. One family had constant quarrels and were pretty unhappy. And the other couple lived in a relatively peaceful, quiet, and living in wellness. One day, feeling jealous about the nice atmosphere that flourished in the neighboring family, the wife told her husband, go to the neighbors and look at what they're doing for such well-being. The husband went to the neighbor's house, hid outside the window, and started watching. He saw a woman who was wiping the floor in the kitchen. Suddenly, something distracted her, and she ran into the other room. At that time, her husband walked into the room. He didn't notice the bucket of water on the floor, kicked it over, knocking the water everywhere. And then his wife came back into the room and said, oh, I'm sorry, honey. It's my fault you stubbed your toe because I left the bucket out. No, dear, it's my fault, he said, because I didn't notice it. The man returned home to his wife and she asked, did you see why those people seem so happy? And her husband replied, yeah, I guess so. It seems that, well, we always try to be right and make each other wrong. Those folks are less interested in blaming each other for things and more interested in just being with each other. What a powerful story, right? And Ernest Holmes said this, when we let the love that is within us go out to the God who is in all people, then we are loving God with all our heart and with all our soul and mind, because we are recognizing that the spirit within us is the same spirit that we meet in others. This is loving our neighbors as ourselves. So from a 360-degree view, such as from the top of some high building or mountaintop, the world looks a whole lot different. And we get to see a whole new perspective. And sometimes this is the perspective that we need in our life and in all our relationships. When we're too close to things, we can get muddled and confused. We can't see the forest for the trees. Loving and respecting ourselves means being clear on what works for us and what doesn't work. Loving and respecting ourselves gives us the space to figure that out when we aren't as clear. Talking or pardon me, taking our feelings into meditation and treatment can give us that space that we need. Counseling and journaling are also valuable opportunities to gain more clarity. So we tend to take ourselves and our lives just a little too seriously. Often what happens from taking some space in realization that we took something personally, the person in question was just human, and so are you. So am I. And sometimes, for some reason, it's time to love someone from a distance, to actually give yourself physical space and distance from each other. Sometimes we like to say, I love you from your farthest and highest good. So while we are indeed one energy, we as humans are individualized expressions, giving ourselves space and time to figure out what is right for each and every one of us for uh, our healthiest life, and gives us the gentlest of things that we can do for ourselves and do for others in life. James Dean said this: only the gentle are ever really strong. So first, let's be gentle with ourselves so that we can be more gentle with others. And continuing to build our giant of gentleness is not exclusively independent of others. In fact, we're never alone. Being in relationship with others provides some of the most rewarding and exhilarating experiences in life. And they can also be tedious and downright frustrating. But recognizing our oneness with each other gives us introspection and awareness of our own judgments and how that's reflected in our relationships. Loving ourselves is loving each other. Loving the other is loving ourselves. Reaching for the outpouring of the divine givingness in active compassion allows our beloveds to be themselves. It also gives us the space that we need to find our own balance and perspective. All relationships are sacred and holy, and the gentleness is in how we see those others all around us, as well as how we see ourselves. This gentleness is expanding and growing, and practicing it keeps it alive for us and sends out subtle reminders to everyone, everywhere. So let's keep this gentle energy going and growing. And I'll leave you with this final quote. The moment you develop a sense of concern for others, you realize that, just like ourselves, they also want happiness. They also want satisfaction. And that leads us to our affirmation for the week. All of my relationships are love in form. And so now it's time for our news and updates at the center. If you're interested in learning more about the Science of Mind teaching, we will be offering a foundations course via Zoom starting soon. So connect with me for the details or check on our website. And please let me know if there's another course or a workshop or even a book study that you would be interested in, and we can plan dates for those as well. If you would like to have a one-on-one connection for a spiritual mind treatment to assist you with whatever is going on in your life or whatever you would like to be going on in your life, or more of whatever is happening, then please connect with me to make an appointment. And if you would like to commit to being a member of the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta for this current year, as membership does renew annually, or if you would like to be on our board of trustees, then please contact me for the current application forms. And please note that we will be having our annual general meeting via Zoom coming up on Saturday, May 4th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And please note this is a new date. It's been extended by a week due to some conflicting scheduling. So if you are wanting to come and join the meeting, you are more than welcome to join us on Zoom. However, in order to vote, you must be a member first. So signups for membership can also be done up to the day of. So you have until May 4th. And the Zoom link is posted on the website as well. And I'd also like to remind you to subscribe and like our YouTube channel and Facebook page. And so now it's time for our mindful giving and financial support of our spiritual home. And we rely on your support to continue our center here in Puerto Vallarta so that we can continue with offering this powerful teaching of the science of mind. So we bless each and every financial gift that you give. Every donation is appreciated, no matter the amount. And your contributions are circulated with our tithing to our greater organization, which reaches out globally as well as locally. And we also tithe to a local women's shelter to assist women and children that have left an abusive home, and allows them the opportunity to become grateful for the assistance to become productive and successful members of the community. Donations can be made through PayPal or Tithely through our website, www.cslpv.org. Alternatively, if you still like to send paper checks, you can do so by addressing it to CSLPV number 403, 2125 Birch Road, Kelowna, BC, B1Y8N1. And now please join me in our offertory affirmation. I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. I do give eternal thanks for the abundance that is mine to share. So thank you for coming and sharing this time together. And let's remember to continue practicing peace. We can each be a force for peace and nonviolence. Our words and our actions create ripples of peace all around us and beyond. Peaceful living includes acting with compassion, kindness, and consideration. And it also includes standing up against injustice. So may peace and love be with you. Blessings to all. Namaste.